It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Last we left off, Bell's Hells, after a very deadly encounter with the Legend of the Peaks, Otahan Thul, with 3 members of their team dead, 2 returned, and Laudna left unable to do so. You brought her body back to Drusar, pulled in some favors with Eshdras, who then pulled in some favors of his own, but then you called out to the leader of the Ereshari, Keyleth, who brought you to the town of Whitestone. There you met Lord Percival de Rolo, who, upon learning about Laudna's condition and involvement with Delilah, was extremely unhappy and unwilling to grant aid in this circumstance. But Vex'ahlia felt a little more empathetic. Upon calling Pike Trickfoot, the cleric of Vox Machina, to come and try and resurrect your friend Laudna, discovering this lingering connection, the dangers of being uncertain as to how to assure that Laudna came back and not Delilah herself, you traveled to the Trickfoot Manor, and she put you all through a unique ritual that projected your spirits into whatever dark pocket dimension it seemed that Laudna and Delilah had been whisked away in the afterlife to. There you traversed a series of odd memories, dark traumas of Laudna's past, battled some of these inner shadows that seemed to linger and be drawn around Delilah's necrotic life force, eventually coming through a shadow version of the town of Whitestone, a twisted, leafless version of the sun tree where she once hung from, and did battle with the shade of Delilah Briarwood. Upon going through this struggle, this fight, it was discovered that it wasn't just Delilah, but the dark tree itself that represented what was holding Laudna here, it seemed. After a few of you had been knocked out of this dream, eventually you destroyed the tree, left Delilah screaming, and all of you awoke suddenly, back on the floor of Pike Trickfoot's home. As you all glance around at each other, realizing that you've managed to escape, hopefully with some semblance of victory, you look upon the still body of Laudna, still there on the ground. Pike Trickfoot, who is still kind of sitting in a prayer position, glances up as the last of you come to. How'd it go? Did it work?
Delilah was screaming. I think it worked.
Okay, I sense that force, that connection between Delilah that I previously saw is heavily diminished. It's not gone, but it's definitely not as strong as it was. She looks over her shoulder, and you see Vex'ahlia, who's kind of still leaning back against the door, looking around, an intense expression on her face of both concern and a hint of relief at your return. Well, if you left her screaming, then that's one thing, is it not? Pike, do you trust this? Do you think this is a good idea? Pike just kind of thinks for a second, makes eye contact with each of you in turn as she glances about the circle. She means a lot to you, right?
Yes, of course.
She means everything.
You understand that I don't have assurances entirely that this is going to work.
Nothing in this life is guaranteed, but we want to try, please.
To raise the dead, we needed to see if we could separate the two, because I wasn't certain. We had an equal chance of bringing one or the other back if I tried it then. And we just got to cross our fingers, I guess.
It could still be Delilah?
There's always a chance. Well, if it's Delilah, and she looks back at Vex again, and Vex goes, We'll handle it.
Oh, shit.
Laudna is worth it. Please.
Okay. Okay. It's back over at Vex. Okay. She begins to lay out a secondary ritual. So as part of this ritual, I have to reach out to her soul, her spirit. I'm going to need 3 of you at some point to step forward and take my hand and speak to her. I'm a stranger to her.
You need to take my hand?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, well, I'll wait till later.
Wait till I cue you. Just think of something that would give her reason to come back. And I also have to tell you, sometimes the spirit doesn't want to, and there's nothing we can do about that. So if you really care about her and you really want her back, find a way to let her know. She reaches up and grabs her holy symbol once more. Everlight, please. Bring these friends together. She places her hand onto Laudna's chest, begins to whisper beneath her breath. For a moment, you watch the back begin to arc as the body begins to lift off the ground ever so slightly, her hair dangling past her shoulders and falling to the ground like a dark, unmoving waterfall. As Pike closes her eyes, finishes her prayer, and opens them once more. Laudna, wherever you are, come back to us. Come back to your family. And without breaking eye contact with whatever distant space she's focused on, she reaches a hand out to whoever will take it.
Please. May I?
Yeah.
Laudna. I know I don't know you any better than the rest of the gang, but I know your history. You deserve to be more than a footnote in Delilah's story. There are people here who need you. They need your life and your heart. I don't know what Bell's Hells will be without your darkness, Laudna. Or your light. Please, come back. And with his free hand, he sort of scooches forward on his knees and he starts trailing his hand down through Laudna's hair, and red poppies start to bloom all through her black hair, sort of wreathing her face.
Pike, still focusing forward, puts her other arm out, palm up, waiting for somebody else to step forward and join the ritual.
I'll take it, unless...
No, you're better at these things.
I will, with my other hand gripping that coin, I will take her hand and I'll just whisper to her, Laudna, you might not have been, perfect, but you loved escargot and sashimi, and you loved Imogen, and I've always been told that a soul that loves at least touches perfection. You once said to me that the worst thing that ever happened to you has already happened. And now I can say that the worst thing that ever has happened to us has already happened. With you not here, it's really scary. And not the fun kind. Pike said that you might not want to come back, so I'm afraid we can't let you do that. So I'm going to cast compulsion on her and compel her to come back, if possible.
Okay. You still feel her presence, much like you did in that dark space. But you're uncertain as to whether or not this contribution was strong enough.
I'm just gonna stand behind her head and brush her forehead. And say, you know you saved my life, right? If you hadn't come into town when you did, I don't know how long I would have lasted. These last few years have been... they've been everything. And through it all, through all the laughter and all the hardships, she was with you. She was choking you. If you come back, I don't know how you're gonna feel. I don't know if you'll feel free or if you'll feel empty. But I want you to know whatever hole she's leaving, I'll be there to help fill it, all right? I'll be there for you. I'm not gonna tell you to come back. I'm not gonna try to compel you to come back because that choice, Laudna, is yours now. No one gets to control you anymore, all right? Just know that I love you, and I'm here. And I'm gonna take Pate and I'm gonna put him on her chest.
It's challenging, given the fact that this is a soul that is still bound to shadow, that now is vengeful, as diminished as it may be, and is still in some ways holding your voices back from finding the ears that needs to hear them. A moment passes. In that stillness, you hear Pike exhale, and under her breath say once more, "Come on, come on." Vex'ahlia leans forward. Pike, did it? I don't... She licks her hand and slaps the side of Laudna's face, of which immediately Laudna sits up, jolted awake from the pain. Laudna, if you come back to the table.
Oh! Laudna, you're back! Are you back? Are you okay?
Is it you?
Uh-oh, she can't speak.
I don't... Have you found anything else out about your mom?
It's her.
I'm so glad you're back. Do you remember anything?
I do. I remember hearing you, and I remember seeing you. Seeing all of you. I remember all of it.
Pike steps forward. Hi, Pike Trickfoot. I just need to check something real fast. Do you trust me?
No, she's trustworthy.
Reaches up and places her hand in front of you, and that same kind of warm energy seems to draw this tether between the two of them for a moment before Pike withdraws her hand. It's her. It's definitely her.
Her Laudna, her?
Laudna, yes, sorry, I should have specified. That's on me. Sorry, it's Laudna. It's Laudna.
Did you see anything else?
I don't... She goes ahead and focuses. Mark once more. Pulls her hand away. Nope. Just Laudna. Vex'ahlia kind of like... The bow goes slack. Well, Laudna, welcome back. My name is Lady Vex'ahlia de Rolo.
What?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We took a trip.
We're in Whiteswell Tone.
Oh.
Is that a...
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not like it was. It's not like it was. It's very different now.
The Lady Vex'ahlia steps forward a little bit and slings the bow over her shoulder a bit. We have technically met, and, I should like to speak with you at some point. I believe we do have some things to talk about. But for the time being, you're our guests.
You're very pretty.
Vex is like in front of the door, steps aside and opens it. And right as she opens the door, you hear...
Oh, God. Oh, this asshole.
And looking just beyond it, you see 4 or 5 dozen riflemen, and then them flanked by what looks to be probably 50 or more pale guard, all completely surrounding the front of this house. Beyond that, you see across the way, elevated on a platform, a bit of a shine hits your eyes, and you see a glimmer of what looks to be some sort of glass, before you make out to be the light hitting some sort of a sight, as a large, intricate, metallic rifle sits trained at the door, and a white-haired figure behind it shouts into the air. Vex'ahlia! Pike! Do I have your assurance or your authority? Vex steps out and kind of into the view of everyone present, arms up. You have my assurance, darling. The man back there with the rifle. Very well. Pale Guard! Rifle Corps, stand down! All the other riflemen put their weapons to the side and kind of still train intensely on all of you as Vex'ahlia steps out into the light. Pike steps out as well.
Take my hand. Of course. Just stay close.
Always.
All right.
You all step out, with Laudna and Imogen holding up the rear. And here you see the scattered pale guard and rifle corps kind of taking steps back, weapons down at the ready, but still some of them intense looks, some of them curious. You see vibrant rooftops and fresh shingles, gardens and flower bushes set at the base of windows. You see a well-kept cobblestone roadway. You hear people laughing in the distance and talking. You see Whitestone as you remembered it. And even brighter. And the thing that catches your attention behind this crowd of people, of soldiers and guards, is the towering, vibrant, bright green and yellow leaves of the sun tree, in full display, healthy as it's ever been, turning into the autumn colors.
Can we go towards it?
tree sits there before you. The gentle wind blowing through it. You can see kind of its size is so immense that as the breeze hits it, you can see the waves of wind kind of scatter across it in sections.
Lana walks up to it. Actively trying to rewrite the vision and the memory in her head. But it's like the sundry she knows is fighting. It's almost like it's flashing back and forth. It's like right in the periphery of her eyes, you can see darkness and ropes swinging and the sound of screams. In the dissonance between that and the laughter of children and the market nearby, it's confusing. As Lana grapples with this concept that there are these children who are never going to know anything different. She reaches up and she just touches the sundry. Do I feel anything?
The bark itself has almost a noticeably living warmth to it. As you kind of just take in its texture and that odd connection with something that feels so natural but has so long been an image, a representation of the darkest time in your life. A little orange leaf kind of flutters down past you.
Pick it up. Just kind of press my forearms and my cheek against the sundry as it's the first warmth she's felt in some time. And she closes her eyes and starts to embody her form of dread. But this time, you see her. Her normal morning veil kind of cracks and crumbles and falls kind of in the same way that the leaf does. And she just takes the sundry and embodies it. And from onlookers, it looks like branches start sprouting from her shoulders. And you see almost an entire life cycle, or years worth of seasons, as the branches bloom and then wither and then fall. Until eventually, she drops it.
You hear the footsteps approach of about a dozen or so figures. Heavy boots. Not intently, but just approaching with purpose.
Wait.
Amongst them is a white-haired, white-bearded gentleman with glasses and a long gray and blue coat, and a rather massive rifle-like contraption slung over his shoulder and his back. Hello. I take it your name is, Lodna. My name is Percival Rolo III. This is my home, and I acknowledge that you have suffered much under the briarwoods.
This is my home too.
Indeed. On behalf of the Rolo family, I apologize for what befell you and yours.
Lola just kind of moves her hand over on top of Percy's. I'm sorry for what the Briarwoods have done to you two.
That's what it means to be a survivor. To break the cycles.
To break the cycles.
I need to go ahead and, have a drink and calm my nerves. He steps away a bit into the good wine.
Miss Pike, that was amazing back there. Can you've said you've resurrected things in the past?
I have, yeah.
And have you ever done animals? Because I was thinking like maybe Pate or something.
Boy.
If you...
You know what's funny?
No.
When I was in whatever plane of existence that I was trapped in, I did have Pate, and I got to remember and recall creating him, and I think I felt you all there. And that was nice, because I made Pate to just have someone to talk to. He was still my anchor, even there, and I pulled Pate out and take the sinewy strings and kind of collapse them down on itself on top of him and pull him apart and cast Find Familiar. Yes. And just like releasing a dove, just
It falls dead.
see what happens. I don't know if this is going to work, and I...
So, you watch as the lifeless, headless body of a rat affixed to a skull tumbles into the air, the strings kind of stretching and breaking, and it arcs downward before the back tears open, and what looks to be a pair of awful-looking, tattered wings that emerge from the back.
Orphan Maker!
As it flies up, seemingly held aloft by some unseen necromantic powers, as it kind of just hangs there limply. It's the wings kind of... You've not seen this sort of puppeteering before. The head kind of looks up towards the rest of you where it goes, "Oh, hello! It's so nice to meet all of you!"
Okay, now I'm gonna cry.
Pike goes, "Wow, that's really creepy. I'm gonna go. Bye."
Bye!
Thank you.
Pate is now... He goes, "All right, so it's real nice to meet all of you for the first time. Really not for the first time, but like really the first time. You especially, you're real nice looking."
Oh, it's so nice! So nice to meet you too. Is it Pate now?
No, he's still Pate.
Okay.
Still, you know, but he can... Pate, why don't you, just get on my shoulder and...
Crawl back into home.
Let's
Like
see.
skitters up under your hair, up into your hair, and just kind of lays flat against your skull.
Yeah.
A rat's nest? Is that actually what I don't...
You return to the castle. For the various inns and or cramped spaces you've stayed in for a while, it is a welcome change of pace. Dinner is eventually served. You are called to this fine long table where the lord and lady are sitting, and the scents fill the interior of this firelit, stone-arched room.
I might ask them just for the location of that temple, the Horizon Temple, at some point.
Percival kind of leans forward with his goblet. Oh, yes, the Horizon Temple rests on the southern edge of the city. But yes, if you're going there, speak to Guide Osli Kamida.
Kamida.
Yes, he is the holy person.
You're not very religious, I take it.
You know, it's interesting. You meet a few gods, it kind of just dispels the mystery.
I have a design that I'm really hoping that maybe you could make. I'm gonna dip my finger in the wine, and I'm gonna draw a little gun. So this would be for my monkey. But what it needs to do is it needs to be able to shoot little fire pellets. So it needs to work under tremendous heat.
You see Percy sits back in his chair, almost like leaning back into the high back portion of it, his kind of hands together. Are you asking me to craft a custom firearm for your monkey?
Yes.
And it's to shoot seeds.
Flame shit.
Yeah.
Kind of puts his hands out on the table, like blinking a bit, and adjusts his glasses a bit, and Lady Vex'ahlia goes, I mean, you know, this isn't too different from the pop gun design which you made for a number of our children years ago. Actually, I just might have something for you right now.
Oh.
Oh my god. I cannot believe that worked.
This is how Planet of the Apes started.
Caesar!
You're the most interesting dinner we've had in a while. He finishes his half-filled goblet of red wine, takes napkin. I'll return. Scoops the seat back and steps away from the table.
Lady Vex'ahlia, in her head, she's gonna hear me talking. Before the final course comes out, I can't help but notice Lana seems a little uncomfortable. And I would like to ensure that it's not like a lobster dinner or anything. That's what she was served here.
The voice in her head responds, appreciate the heads up. There's a moment after that where Lady Vex'ahlia goes, I'm going to go ahead and check on something real fast, just to powder my nose, and then I'll return shortly. A short time later, Lady Vex'ahlia returns. The final course should be up here very soon. A slight delay in the kitchen. Hope everyone likes potatoes.
I love them. They're my favorite food.
Wonderful.
Close, but love
Perfect.
potato. All right, write it down.
Shortly thereafter, Lord Percival returns with a small box. I made this for my children when they were much younger. I think this might do for what you're looking for. Now, I know not how you train your monkey, but I would recommend not aiming at anybody's face or head that you like.
Unless he's... Okay, yeah.
Oh boy.
For sure.
If you wouldn't mind giving this to your monkey once you've left the city, just to be safe. And he shows you. It's essentially a small, simple tube with kind of what looks to be like a trap door that kind of pulls open, and with it, it's more or less a potato cannon, like a small version of a potato gun.
Yeah, I get it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Lord de Rolo.
So, your main course of rapidly prepared potato soup presents itself. It's still, for what you thought it would be, it's still nice, hearty, but eventually the dinner comes to completion. You're brought to your chambers.
Actually, we were hoping before that
A little bit of
Over
business to discuss, actually. In our travels overseas, we encountered something near and dear to you, Lord Rolo. So I encountered this on the black market in Oman some time ago. It's the residuum. And more recently, came across it in Vex'ahlia in Marquet. We believe connected to the Cerberus Assembly in Wildmount. And I have to imagine that is not your intended destination.
You open the lid of the box that you had.
Oh yeah, I pulled it out and
Yeah.
Immediately, Percival kind of leans forward, fingers steepled, the bit of oil lantern light kind of glistening across his glasses as he kind of reaches out and kind of picks up and runs the powdered residuum glass through his fingers. We've been aware of some missing shipments for some time. Been trying to pinpoint as to where they were going and who was involved, and the care that was taken to keep them enshrouded was extensive. Now I've been following some personal threads that were leading us eastward, and believed to have some sort of Dwendalian and/or Wildmount involvement. And the assembly, of course, had crossed my mind, but that is a truth I had been hoping would not be the case, as they are a very messy organization to confront.
What do you know about the apogee solstice?
Takes a deep breath. I know quite a bit I've read about solstices. The apogee solstice, in its once in a lifetime, at least a human lifetime, anyone with an interest in cheating their way to a better position through magical means is going to be out on those nights doing their best and their damnedest to achieve things normally unheard of and incapable.
They're working alongside Odahan Thul and the Unseelie Court. Am I right? We've been looking into Rudis and the powers that it can bestow, potentially. We were able to gaze upon the moon with a special telescope, and Orm and I both witnessed a lattice, a magical lattice wrapped around the red moon. Trapped within it, on the surface, we saw a city.
That is a dark portent, I suppose. This magical lattice, you said. He reaches over into what looks to be a pile of parchment and a small pencil box that's kind of resting over one of the bookshelves, and begins sketching out rapidly on the table, just like drawing this pattern. Is this what you saw?
Yeah, very similar.
Have you seen? How do you know?
He looks to Vex'ahlia and she leans back. We've seen it ourselves with our own eyes, though not on the moon. As you put it, this is the design of the Divine Gate. This is the barrier that divides the realms of the gods from Exandria, put in place post-calamity.
We've also learned, we think, that texts exist from long ago that describe gods from the beginning, 2 of them. And your residual, Lord Rolo. I don't know how yet. I don't think we know how. But there are people out there who are stopping at nothing to make sure that whatever is up there is not found out. And those people are tied up in this. Pointing at the residual.
His eyes are darting around like he's not just accepting all the information, but is trying to piece things together in his mind. We do have allies in Vasselheim. We can look into some of this mystery with our contacts and see if we can connect any of these dots. The hour grows late. I have some letters to send and some questions to ask. He stands up and grabs the box of residuum. I'm sorry. Does this belong to you?
I was going to say, would it be possible to ask even just an ounce so we have it for explanations, research?
Yeah, just in case we have to act like we're not who we are. The people are untoward. You like that word?
He takes the same pencil box and empties it. Takes a couple handfuls of residuum, puts them into the box, closes it, and hands it back to you. That should suffice for emergencies and explanation purposes.
We'll keep it safe, you have my word.
Thank you. Good night.
Good evening.
Vex'ahlia? Actually, I'll stay behind a moment, if you don't mind. All right. He nods and leaves the chamber. Closes the door. You all need to take care of each other, and you all need to take care of her. This has brought me some help and protection in the past. And hope maybe this can do the same for you. She pulls a small band off of her finger and hands it out to you. A ring that contains a protective enchantment. I've had it for quite some time, but I think you have more of a use of it in the paths you're walking.
Thank you, lady.
She stands up and kind of quietly gives everyone a nod and a smile. Looks back to you once more, Laudna. Good night. And she leaves.
I don't know if I want to sleep in here. I might go sleep by the sun tree, if that's all right. Yeah.
If we come with?
I don't want you all to sleep out in the cold.
Oh, no, we just crossed the planet. I think we can camp with you.
All right, so your whole troop is going to camp out by the sun tree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Out there in the beautiful night sky, the stars above, barely broken by the faint wisps of cloud that are just passing over above. It's a cold night. You can see your breath. But it's still a little warm around the sun tree, and no frost touches its leaves. So, you all gather up and sleep around the sun tree.
Your life. Life.
Is there a way to track that?
Imogen.
God damn it.
3 levels of exhaustion.
Is this a nighttime thing?
Indeed.
Because I said in the last session that every night I'm casting Shared Dream.
Then, as you all lay down, you feel yourself drawn through the arcane weave that you've laced into Imogen's restful state, and join her as you find yourself standing in the same grass field, the same childhood open area that the dreams continue to start in, except for there isn't green, there isn't your horse. The red storm is already around you.
Do I feel them with me?
You take in your surroundings and glance, and you can see behind you and to the left, about a few feet from you, a faint outline of FCG joining you in this dream.
You're here.
Where are we?
Home.
Glancing about, you see ahead of you, the opposite direction of the house, a shadowed shape that just moves away and vanishes into the dust away from you. It's hard to make out the specifics in the intensity of this storm. But you see the walking figure stop, kind of glance over its shoulder in your direction for just a moment, and then it's gone.
I think somebody just died.
What?
I saw Bertrand here. I saw him that night. He looked like a warrior, someone big. Oh God, I hope it's not Estrals.
The storm continues to get cold and darker. The warm red light that filled it begins to dim, until eventually the vibrant red becomes a deep, dark maroon. And as the wind begins to die,
This is different.
the space above you begins to thin. Where the dust dies down, instead, you see a dark, voided scape filled with thousands and thousands of stars.
Where are we now?
We're on the moon, bitch. Can I see Exandria?
You glance up, and the stars begin to blink out. Until within a few moments, inky blackness sits above you both. The storm subsides, and you put your consciousness back down on where you were standing, but there's nothing there. Blackness beneath you. Dark, lightless space, until you can't even see each other. And in that moment, as all you have is the sense, the physical sense of holding each other's hand, you feel yourselves being pulled away, until your grip finally gives. And you both come to consciousness in the morning.
Morning.
Indeed. Having completed a long rest.
Whoa.
But the rest of you begin to awaken a bit stiff for a night's sleep at the base of the sun tree. It was a cold night, but you had the things to bundle. Yeah, a bit hungry.
I'm gonna knock on the sun tree. Hello. Can you hear me? I was just actually seeing if, you could open up your body. Just like a door. Are you there? Can I talk to you? Hello?
A gentle breeze blows through the boughs of the tree, and a warm voice emanates from the tree that fills your mind and your heart. It says, "Hey. Hey, Fern.
Oh, hi.
I mean, people make doors out of trees. We don't do it ourselves, but you figure it out.
If I
You
just
know
did
where
it.
I am."
How long have you been here?
Oh,
Just
long time.
a long time. Did you ever notice when they put up a new moon? Were you here when there was just one moon?
No. As long as I've been here, there's been two.
All right, well, We'll come back and talk to you at some point. I'll figure out how to get you open.
Well, you got consent from me.
Oh, yes, I should have asked. Thank you, Suntree. Thank you very much. It was really nice to meet you and talk with you.
Anytime, Fern.
All right.
Anytime.
I want to send a message to Lord Estroth.
Okay, what do you say?
Are you alive still?
You wait a moment. Then another moment. Then another moment. About a minute passes. No response.
I had a dream last night. FCG was there. I saw a figure that seemed... I don't know, it just reminded me of Lord Estroth.
You think you saw him, and that means that he might have died?
Well, yeah, that's what happened with Bertrand. Now I'm worried that, I don't remember her name. What was her name that we needed to contact?
Manaya.
Manaya. Thank you, Brain.
Shania Twain.
Manaya
Twain.
Twain.
Shania.
Never the Twain shall meet.
No.
Teray.
Teray. Manaya Teray.
Letters was there. That's
I was
amazing.
I was watching, and it was frightening, and
You had the same dream?
I was
you
just
got
watching
there?
hers.
It was comforting to have you there.
Well, if that's the case, maybe next time we could bring another friend too.
You think that's possible?
I'd love to go.
Okay.
Want me to send the message?
Yeah.
I do have to make one quick stop. I can do it super fast, but I'll send the message for right now to Shania Twain, and ask. Shania Twain. It's Bell's Hells. If you are awake, we are at the Sun Tree in Whitestone and require transportation back to Drusar.
I remember you, and a favor shall be paid. 2 hours. Be there.
Okay.
Was there somewhere else you wanted to stop, SCG, before we...
I'm already gone.
CG, where are you headed?
I've already gone to Horizon Temple. I'm in there. I'm asking for guide Asli Kamida. Kamida?
Easy enough to find as you come to the modest, beautiful, cylindrical temple that sits on the southern side of the city. On the inside, with the kind of simple dome chamber, you see a shrine of a woman no larger than a normal person you see in the center. Her hair tumbles around her into the ground, and where it hits the ground, the hair seems to become waves, and the waves gently dissipate into the cobblestone paths that exit the interior of the temple and lead into the roads themselves, like she is an extension of the intersection. And you do see one man who is kind of sitting down, just kind of eating some, looks like a bowl of fruit and yogurt. He's just kind of like finishing his meal, and he looks up to you. Well, hello. You're a strange one.
Yeah, I know. That's what they say. Are you? Do you know guide Asli Kamida?
You found him. That is me.
Oh, it's a smiley day to you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Smiley day to you.
I'm fresh cut grass. Someone gave me this coin, and I'll show him the coin.
I'm quite familiar with such an emblem.
I'm really drawn to it. It's it's little and it's metal, but it seems to have a purpose. And I think, like, I've been doing a lot of thinking about where I came from and who I am and who made me, but I think maybe I should just be looking ahead more at, like, what I want to be or what I should do or what my purpose is. And I wondered if you had any insight, or if she might. And I guess I'm just asking how to talk to her.
Well, to talk to her is to open your heart to whatever wisdom she might impart, whatever symbols that may take. I get the sense that you don't have a lot of experience with the divine.
No, not really.
And that's all right. She doesn't demand that of you, but when you ask for guidance, when you begin the trek of walking the path to reaching for a sign, for a push, for a beacon of light in the distance to guide you when you feel aimless and lost, that's where she will be. And symbols may be interpretive. Signs in the surroundings, a feeling. And with each step you take, they'll become stronger. Your confidence will grow as you begin to understand and interpret what she lays before you. And if you want to speak to her, then just do so. And she'll guide you along the path. She is the patron of open roads and adventure, of freedom, and guiding your own path and experiences, to explore that which is beyond what is known. She pushes all to look beyond the boundaries that we and others pose beyond us and carve our own way. Maybe it's time for you to carve your own.
Well, that's a little scary.
It is. You're not wrong. But what is bravery if not standing in the face of fear and pushing ever onward?
Do I leave an offering or a gift?
If you'd like.
For her to notice me?
I think the fact that you're here already says that she's noticed you. He reaches behind his robe and pulls out a small chain. At the end you see a near identical coin to the one that you brought here. Polished and well kept. It is the smallest of pieces that you get to choose how they're used. All things made and crafted are but tools, but it's whoever uses them that gives them purpose. A sword can kill and murder, it can also defend. What will you be?
All right, I got nothing to leave. I'll leave. I'll burn some incense because I got that, and I'll leave. I have a bunch of powdered silver. I'll leave some of that behind. I just feel really embarrassed. I've never really prayed before or anything. I don't know how it works. So, do you mind just covering your ears for a second? It just.
Of course. Kamille retrieves his bowl of fruit and yogurt and takes another bite and then walks out of the temple to leave you alone at the shrine of the Changebringer.
I don't know if you can hear me, and I don't know if you can speak, but I'll be listening, and I'll be waiting, and I guess I'll be hoping for you to, I guess, just let me know that you're there. I don't need anything more than that, just to know that someone out there knows who I am and that I exist. Amen. And I'll just kind of leave.
You leave the temple, and as you're wheeling out, Kamille, who's still standing outside, kind of taking a bite out of a piece of peach, yells out behind you. The curious thing about faith is often it takes some to find some. Smiley day to you. and he steps and enters the temple. Well, you all reconvene here in the center of Whitestone. As you're waiting carefully, the tree opens up the portal. On the other side, you can see the same kind of shaded interior, the parlors, the collective. And you see Manaya on the other side kind of glancing through going,
These happen quick.
We run.
Let's go.
Right. You all start darting through. Imogen, as you're about to step through, you feel a tug on your arm. And Lady Vex'ahlia is kind of just like, helps there. And she goes, anything strange? Let us know. And pushes you through.
I'll land on my butt on the other side.
It closes behind. And you all stand now in the kind of dug-in mountainous kind of courtyard that is away from the sunlight and shadow, that has maintained the kind of small forest-like central structure where the trees had awaited you as you were about to leave before Keyleth arrived and sent you off to Whitestone in a rapid moment of chaos. There you see Manaya kind of greets you all. Wonderful. You have apparently now settled that debt. Thank you so much. Goodbye. You exit back onto the massive outcropping where little bursts of garden and plant life are situated across the stone flooring and the wall that overlooks the top of Drusar here from the airy spire, just below where you see the gondola cable continuing down towards the core spire. You come into the neighborhood and you can see just around the bend and further to the back the front doorway and household of Lord Estros.
Okay, then now I'm gonna try to cast Sending.
Yeah, okay. What do you say?
Estros, tell me you were just sleeping earlier. Are you there? Really loud, I'm just gonna say, wake up!
Okay. Nothing.
Kind of fucked anyway.
I'll kick it off and I'll go invisible.
Okay.
Listen, if you see the door open, send in the dead rat. I'll go
clarinet.
to the front door and invisibly just...
No response.
We're fucked.
Fucking trap.
Pick the front door lock.
The door opens up ever so slightly.
Well, the door cracks, and that was the code to let Pate fly through and see what happens.
Okay.
So I said, Pate.
Nice.
What am I doing?
Love it so much.
You're gonna go in and you're gonna give Chetney backup. You understand?
Yeah, okay.
So
Let's do
please,
it.
Go in.
Look through your eyes, all right? Might be weird.
First thing that you catch. It is dark and still, but the entire interior of the house is marred by signs of struggle. And you can see where a number of the traps that you've previously seen have been set off. You can kind of look off to the side and a large, looks like a carved wooden, like crushing battering ram seems to have fallen and jammed into the ground at a certain point. Its chain kind of cocked open as if it hung over and slammed into the side wall.
Blood?
Well, you do see across the floor a few dotted red pools.
I'll go upstairs.
Okay. Pate goes up the darkened turnabout staircase to the secondary floor, which leads into the hall that goes to the one guest room where you had stayed that one night. Following the signs of struggle and battle, what you can see now is a direct smear of red, just kind of across the ground. There is a very nice-looking set of double doors that is partially open, where the smear continues. Heading into the room, you stub your toe on something, kind of glance down and you see a long silver cane, the ball end of it. Pushing the door slightly open, you step into the bedchamber and it's Eric's Ashtaros, face down at the foot of the bed, unmoving, arm kind of reaching beneath it, still. You get close to it, and it is riddled with wounds. Heavy gash marks, fine slashes. The robe, at a quick glance, is barely held together.
Change bringer.
Two things. One, the smell of blood is strong, but it smells off. It's hard to describe. You're very familiar with the blood of creatures, especially humanoid creatures, your own and others. There's just something off about it. The other thing that you do smell is a smell that you won't forget, because it's the smell of blood that you've tasted before. You don't know if it's like a sage or an oil combination, but it's distinctly Orahan. It just barely lingers here. Barely.
Without disturbing the body, I'll just look under the bed and see if he was reaching towards anything or crawling for a hatch. Maybe we're trying to retrieve a weapon.
Okay.
Set something off.
You glance beneath and see there are some cushions kind of piled underneath there. And what looks to be an iron lockbox, about a foot across and about a half a foot deep.
I pulled the lockbox out.
You reach and grab it, and as you're pulling it free, it comes off of a plate that you didn't notice that was weighted and goes, and as it does, you're like, oh, shit. As soon as that happens, you feel a heavy impact on your back as something drops from the ceiling above that cracks onto you and partially onto the body.
I immediately message Jenny. What? Are you alright?
No, there's a trap. I missed one. I think I fucked up Estros.
Is he super dead?
He definitely seems dead.
He seems dead.
I'll very gently just pat him down, see if there's anything on him. Hard objects, anything that would stand out.
You find within his coat pocket two conjoined key rings that carry 6 different rings of different sizes and metallic colorations.
Just with the new keys, can I just try any ones that they have on the lockbox really fast and just see if any happen to open it?
But the fourth one you get to and it goes and it opens. Looking inside, it looks to be a cluster of envelopes. Sealed letters. Kind of looking through them, they all have names on them. One says Evelyn Ress, his associate, caretaker. One says Lex Emnar. Another says Chief Wilder Nemenoros. Another says Ajit Dial. Another says Mistress Orlana Shashadri. Another one says Manaya Teray. These are a number of letters, just different names, including one that says Belethels.
I take the letters, I stick them inside my harness, and I take the bell's hells open when I open it.
Oh no, what's it say?
Oh, it's thick. My friends, if indeed you have this letter in your hands, then my fate has finally caught up to me. I have done many violent things in my life, some I am proud of and some I still deeply regret. I've already been running long running on stolen time. I feel the looming specter of recompense with every morning and said, blah, blah, blah. God, he's fucking purple prose. You and the late Bertram Bell were the latest of these deeply appreciated encounters. Oh, he enjoyed our time with us. With every step, I worried you had all stepped into matters far beyond your ability, foolishly marching into oblivion like I once had been. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it foolish. I now know I was wrong. Those that twist the roads of history to their own dark ends want us to believe we can do nothing. They have no power in the face of such ancient, terrible machinations. I know they are wrong. True bravery is to stand in the face of fear and doubt and march ever on. True bravery inspires others to fall in line behind you and defy their illusions. You inspired me to fall in yours, and for that I thank you. I look forward to watching you all do great things from whatever realm calls me to rest. Remember me not just as a warrior, but as a friend in my own awkward way. Thank you. Now go stop this weird moon shit.
Is that what it says?
X. My maple ginger cookie recipe. Oh no. To the variant coin stores of Duman on behalf of Lord Eric Sesteros.
Coin stores?
In the eventual event of my demise, I leave to the members of the band known as Bells Hells, Ashton, Laudna, Orem, Imogen, Timold, Fern, Calloway, Letters, and that odd older gnome fellow, you fucking... my trusted weapon, Turmoil, and the ownership of the sky ship, the Silver Sun.
Oh my God!
Calm down, he's dead.
I'm sorry, he's dead.
He will also, I also will upon the crew of the Silver Sun, under the guidance of Captain Xandis, a sum of 1 year's worth of payment for their services under Bell's Hells for as long, in accordance to our previously agreed upon wage contract, all executor responsibilities to Chetney Pakapi, including all my. I leave the room. I follow my tracks.
You feel pretty confident that you've not left much of a discernible track on your journey through this house.
Awesome. I will go back to the walking stick. I think that houses the blade Turmoil, correct?
Yep.
I'll pick up the walking stick, and by holding it, it becomes invisible along with me, right?
It does, as you lift it.
I send Pate back.
Sure enough, coming.
I'll come right back out the front. I'm gonna stay this way. We should move quietly away from the house. He's gone. But there are documents you should see. The front door was locked. I couldn't find any other point of entry. Somebody very powerful did this. We know how strong he was. We should move.
Still processing this realization. You gather yourselves and head out into Drusar here in the early morning light to a safer space to conjecture what the next step may be.
Was there blood on the cane?
Dead. There's a faint bit of blood on the cane. As you're kind of walking through the streets, you kind of take the cane a bit, and as you're inspecting it, you're smelling it. And as the sense of smell is one of the strongest memory-linked senses, you recall briefly the trauma of asking for help. And you heard whatever toxin these assassins brought somehow seemed to lock away any chance of recovery.
Just quietly let that sink in while I walk through.
And on that cheerful note, now we'll go ahead and finish up.